Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This bonus reading is for each zodiac sign in the Western zodiac to see how the Chinese zodiac affects each of us. So the major difference between the Chinese and the Western zodiac is the Chinese zodiac is actually based on lunar cycles. It begins on February 17th of 26 and ends on February 5th of 27, whereas the Western zodiac is based on the solar system and celestial systems starting on January 1st. So on February 17th, we move into the year of the fire horse. And this is one day before moving from Aquarius to Pisces energy in the Western zodiac. So if you've already blown your New Year's resolution, here is your second chance. Today is January 1st. Happy New Year's to everybody. And we will begin with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck. Oh, here comes my helper. Come, you can come up on my lap. Good girl. Sorry, my cat wants to join in here. So Aries, we have the Queen of Swords as the underlying energy for this reading. So the Queen of Swords represents clarity. She has her head above the clouds. She's one of 4 of the queens in the minor arcana. You can see here she has her left hand out. She's willing to receive. Having said that, she also has her right hand. She has a sword. And this is because she's been there. She's done that. She bought the t-shirt. So she doesn't put up with bullshit from anyone. Her head is above the clouds, representing that she does have clarity. And she is basically considered maybe the coldest of the 4 queens, but that's not her true nature. It's just the way she's become from having learned the hard way that she has to make sure that people come into her straight. So she's just tired of the same old bullshit, and she says, come in straight or don't come in at all. That's the energy under this deck. So you want clarity, and you want it, you're willing to receive the benefits of that clarity. So that's not a bad place to be. So we're going to start with February, right at the end of February, going into March, kind of February 17th is when the Chinese New Year starts. And this energy is actually, as I said, one day before leaving Aquarius energy to go into Pisces energy. So the Aries energy we're talking about in February is the 2 of Wands. So the 2 of Wands represents someone. They're standing at the turret of their castle, overlooking their domain, their kingdom, and they have the world in their hands. And so this represents someone who's done really well where they're at. And they're possibly, quite often, this represents entrepreneur energy, possibly wanting to expand their business, expand whatever they're passionate about, that kind of energy. So Aries is one of the fire signs, and this represents the element of fire. And the energy here is kind of like big fish in a little pond kind of energy. I've mastered everything here, but I want to now expand my horizons, perhaps start another business if it's a franchise kind of energy, or expand my horizons in whatever way I am passionate about. So that's the energy moving into like the beginning of that February energy. And then we have the Page of Pentacles. So this is in March, we get a message coming in. So the pages used to work for the king and queen around the age, they'd started around 7 to 14 years of age. Quite often they would be from elite families in the area, and they would go into training to deliver messages and do small errands and tasks for the court, for the king and queen. And if they became really good at what they were doing and they could afford a horse by the time they were 21, then they could be considered for knighthood. And then, of course, their responsibilities would expand. But this energy represents a youthful energy. And this, in the old days, of course, they were all male, but now this could represent a female in their masculine energy. And this is representing some form of communication coming in. So the communication is about the pentacle. The pentacle is wealth, health, wealth, and happiness. And that energy, of course, part of that energy represents the coin, money. And so this page is very focused on the coin. And the communication, therefore, would be coming in. And, you know, in the old days, it would be delivered by hand, by note or whatever, by hand. And now it could be in person, but it could also be a text message. It could be a phone call, an email, documents, you know, social media posts, that kind of energy. And so some form of communication is coming in about a pentacle, and perhaps you're waiting to hear about a pentacle because you want to expand something, and maybe you're looking for financing or something like that. So this energy, we have February, this is March, now we're going into April. Oh, and then look at that. We have the Knight of Cups coming in. So the Knight of Cups is someone that's above the age of 21. That's the age it represents. And obviously was a page at some point, and now has been knighted. And this is your typical knight in shining armor, you know, the one you read about in romance novels and in movies. And so they're bringing in communication regarding a cup of love. And they are, you know, the Knight of Cups, this cup of love that he's bringing in, usually is about romance with the Knight of Cups, but it might be something you love to do or love to be kind of energy as well, or somewhere you love to go, that kind of energy. And then we have, we've got the Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords is representing some sort of heartache regarding romance. Okay, so perhaps this, sometimes this represents an apology coming in, or there's some need to apologize regarding matters of the heart. And so we have, this is a very disturbing picture, but when you look at it again, you recognize, oh, okay, that heart is actually quite big and those swords are really quite small. So this can be kind of representative of something that you will be able to heal from. And if you look at this card, it looks kind of like a cliff with a cloud. But when you look again, you realize, oh, that could be shoulders and a throat and a head. So this sometimes means that there's been, like the swords represent thoughts, and sometimes those thoughts are verbal and sometimes they're written. And so it sometimes represents words that have been used in a way that, you know, was heartbreaking for someone, or some information comes in that's heartbreaking, some sort of energy like that, or a potential for a heartbreaking decision, like someone having to make a decision. It also can be about gossip, that kind of energy. The three of swords in that energy with regarding romance could represent some gossip that's traveling about, and it also can represent that there was 3 people in a relationship that there was only supposed to be 2. So right now, I'm just going to move this forward a little bit. So right now we have February, March, April, May. And okay, going into June, we have the Hierophant coming in. So whatever this energy was about, whatever this message. So we've got a message coming in about a pentacle and about love. So, and a heartbreaking decision maybe having to be made. And the Hierophant is representing the energy of traditional structure, of doing things the proper way. It is that he has his hand in the form of a blessing. So this is saying a blessing in disguise. So some sort of blessing in disguise sometimes is coming in, or the form of a blessing. I'm saying blessing in disguise because of this heartbreak. So some sort of judgment or action is being taken regarding the information that's come in. And that may mean that it has caused you to want to move or change location, that kind of energy. We'll see what this is about. It feels more like a romantic relationship that might end up costing pentacles, which could be kind of could represent like having to go to court for a divorce because you can't make it's kind of like you can't make the decisions on your own, and you need a mediator, or this could be a divorce lawyer, because the Queen of Swords, out of all the queens, is the one that's most likely to be divorced and or separated, because that one little bird in the background of that, in the sword cards, the face cards have flocks of birds, and she only has one. So this is the energy of, I feel like maybe something happened in your relationship, and maybe you're considering a divorce or some legal matter, some legalities around that. And it does involve also the health, wealth, and happiness, including money, of course. And then we have having to have the courage to be able to dig deep into your fears and be able to resolve it. So this young woman is reaching into the lion's mouth, and this is a mature lion, which would be a dangerous thing to do, but the lion is submissive, and the lion represents the fears that maybe she's held since she was a child. And when she can release those fears and face them and then let them go, then she will be in the position to have the infinite potential needed to move forward out of this situation. And I just want to mention that the energy of the fire horse can be very volatile. If you've ever ridden horses, like if they get spooked, that kind of energy, or if they, if they get the bit in their mouth and they want to run, it's kind of like that energy. So there's, when it comes to love, it can be very intense energy and also really passionate energy. So passion is great in a love romance. Let's see what happens. Let's hope it's passion, and that's what the intensity is about. Maybe it's not about divorce. It just kind of is going that way. And then we also have for the career, the energy is also very intense. It's about having really ambitious goals. So if it's regarding something that you love, it is about expanding a business or something like that. It's about really having like a lot of ambitious goals, and also being very adventurous, like in wanting to maybe expand. So it could be some sort of energy where you and your partner get along, but they don't want to move across the world to go do whatever you're doing, or you live far away and there's no way of being able to get the visas to work or something, like something along that energy, because this doesn't always mean divorce. It can mean separation. And then we also have the energy of, for your health and energy is the main thing with this energy of the fire horse. And Aries already tends to be a little bit this way. You may have noticed that the Aries energy, it's represented by the ram, and the ram is very headstrong and very rammy. It can be like, you think of the Aries, the stage of life that is coming in as a newborn, and babies come in head first, and it's kind of that energy. Like Aries can have quite, babies have to be very loud to be able to communicate. They'll cry so that you can hear them. And that's kind of the energy, Aries can be a little bit hot-headed and impulsive. And this is kind of the energy, like if you were to compare, like in the Chinese zodiac, like they're represented by animals. And the animal that is closest to what the Aries energy is would be the dragon, like that type of character. Having said that, the Chinese zodiac is actually based on the year that you were born. So that's not saying that you are a dragon, but like you have like that would be the closest animal on their wheel to represent the Aries energy. So this energy is already fiery, and the year of the fire horse can really charge that up, dun, 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 dun. Like, so you have to be really aware not to fly off the handle, to really be able to maintain calm. And this is, we have here February, March, April, May, June, and this is coming into the July energy. Then, oh, look at this. Yeah, I'm getting, if you can remain calm. This is the Ten of Cups. This is absolutely everything that, the total fulfillment kind of energy. So this can, and the thing that I like about this, what I'm seeing here, it's the Ten of Cups. And as I'm doing this reading, I'm on January 2nd, 2026. And in 2026, 2 plus 2 plus 6 is a 10-year. So this is kind of representing new beginnings, new ways of doing things, and also an energy of, like really embodies that Aries energy. Because Aries is first on the zodiac in Western. And this 10 represent 1 plus 0 equals 1. So it's representing new beginnings. This is happening, February, March, April, May, June, July, August-ish. And I just also want to point out, like that fiery energy it's a warning, like don't burn yourself out by being too impulsive and fiery and, really like just not stopping kind of energy, like charge, like a horse that has the bit in its mouth and it gets away from the rider and it just runs and you can't stop it. And then we have a whole new world coming in. So again, this is saying, and it's really interesting. I've only done one other reading so far doing this spread. It's kind of a different thing that I wanted to do just because the fire horse energy has been coming up in a lot of the readings because we're moving from 2025 into 2026. And that energy is very much like 2 plus 2 plus 5 is a 9-year, and then moving into the 10 or the 1 year in 2026. It's about the new, and this is representing the end of a cycle, of the old cycle. Because when the Fool starts their journey in the major arcana, they are the 0 card, and then they go through all the cards until they hit the 21st card, which is the World, which is what this person is holding. So I feel what this is saying, that 2026 is going to be a whole new world for you. And that that's the energy, and it's going to be, I feel like it matches the Aries personality pretty well, but the danger is you're already that way anyway. So all the fire signs I feel are going to have to like rein their emotions in, like learn to, and be more patient kind of energy. And then things will like be cool-headed like the Queen here. Like she doesn't get worked up over the same old shift anymore. She's just off with her heads. And that's the energy you don't necessarily want to be in, right? So you want to be calm and cool with your head above the clouds, but you want to make sure that you're not showing your temper like too much. Being really impatient with other people who aren't able, with the energy is coming up, like not able to keep up with the energy of the fire horse because it's intense. But so is the fire signs in the zodiac match that energy pretty well, right? And so this is talking about having a strong foundation for change, actually. Like it's moving into the 4, it's already showing that you have all the happiness in your romantic life, it could be, but maybe not in your pentacles yet. And so, but now this is showing that you have a strong foundation. This actually represents the 3 stages of making money. This is, having a strong foundation, but playing it safe. This is going after your heart's desires. And then this is going, your crowning glory. So that energy is talking about don't sell yourself short. And it's also saying, don't, like this person, don't be small, like go after your dreams. If there's ever a year to do it, it's in the year of the fire horse. Having said that, pace yourself, like don't be galloping all over the place and, with the reins dragging and a rider on your back that's fallen off and is got his foot stuck in the stirrup kind of energy. That's not how you want to do it. You want to pace yourself, because the problem is with the fiery horse, like that fire energy from the horse year, mix that with the fiery energy of the Aries, headstrong nature. You could really suffer burnout. It could be really like just doing too much, too fast kind of energy. And then we have the Magician coming in. So this is awesome. This is saying that, you're on your journey. You're going to have all the tools that you need. As above, so below. You can bring your thoughts down to earth. And so sometimes this card actually represents someone that has learned control of their mind. And when you have control of your mind, then when you can discipline your mind, then you have freedom to move forward. And so this card does sometimes represent having like your subconscious mind, which is your thoughts from when you're born till about 7. And the subconscious thoughts are like what we go to when we're anxious or when we're angry or whatever, when our emotions are running high. And so this energy, the subconscious mind, is developed by the time we're 7, and it's heavily imprinted on us. But it's really not our thoughts so much, because if most people don't remember what happened to them when they're that age, especially when they're a baby. So we have to rely on other people to, their idea of who we were. And then the unconscious thoughts are what our soul requires, and our spiritual nature, which is part of what the Hierophant is. It's about bringing the soul's needs also into the picture. And then the conscious mind is having that, what we're totally aware of. And so when those three are congruent with each other, and you have discipline of the mind, and you plug that energy into your heart, then it says you can achieve, your heart's desires. So possibly this card here is actually representing that you have learned to control your temper, to control your emotions, and even your romantic desires, like that you are being very, you're focused on having the happiness that you want in all areas of your life. And perhaps in the past, you have been in that energy, of really being impulsive and doing things impulsively, especially in your love life. And now you've learned that you're going to be a little bit more like the Queen of Swords, and you're going to, come in straight, or don't bother. I'm not playing games here. I want my ultimate fulfillment. And that being, so this may not be so much to do with a heartbreak. It could be like you could have had one last heartbreak and that was it in your love life. Now you're wanting to be more disciplined even in that area of your life, because this says you have all the tools that you need to get to where you're going and bring that energy from the spiritual realm to the physical. Infinite potential here. And one thing also, we just left the year, like when we go into February 17th, that will be the year of the snake. And the magician has a snake wrapped around his waist here, and that's an Ouroboros. And that sometimes can talk about getting caught like in a loop of energy. So this is really good. Like we're shedding the snake. The snake is shedding its skin and moving into the fire horse year on February 17th. So as I said, if you broke your New Year's resolutions already on New Year's Eve morning, or New Year's morning, early this morning, I guess, because it is New Year's Day as I do this, here's your second chance. And then we have the Emperor coming in. Yeah. So this is all about performance. So this is really good energy. So the Emperor is representing all 4 kings rolled into one person. And this Emperor, he's all about performance. So he wears his armor under his cloak. So he's always ready to jump up and be ready for any opportunity or whatever he needs to do. He has a very intelligent person, wise. This is the Emperor. He has all these qualities. He's good with money. He's good with business. He's a loving, like he is in control of his emotions, so he can be a really good, spouse figure as well as a strong father figure. And so this energy, also keep in mind, these are archetypes. So the Emperor could be a woman in her masculine energy. Oh, and then we have this card. So it's really interesting. I've only done 2 readings so far. The last one was Pisces, and this card was sitting at the top of Pisces also. So this card represents, I feel, the difference between this and that, like moving in from 2026 or 2025 to 2026. And then even that energy, like around February 17th, perhaps it's kind of like it starts to really mesh. And that's when you start to, okay, I'm ready to start moving forward, because that's when that's when we totally shed the snake energy and we move into the fire of the horse energy. And the Two of Swords sometimes represents, like, she's blindfolded, because it's not just all about logic, this or that. It can represent having and needing to use your intuition to, benefit you in this energy. And especially, if you've ever ridden horses, you have to be very intuitive with them, and then they'll do what you want. Because when you think about it, a horse can do whatever they want when you're on their back. They could be very well trained, but if they really decided, hey, I'm get the hell off my back, they could get you off. And so that's the kind of energy. It's kind of recognizing that to steer a horse requires like an intuitive nature, so that you can kind of read the horse and notice if it's about to bolt or if there's something around that might spook it, that kind of energy. And I feel like that you're going to be moving into this newer energy more in February than maybe right at the beginning of this new year. You might be in bed with a hangover today, for all we know. So that's why a lot of people end up not fulfilling their New Year's resolution. So I'm just going to clarify this now with my oracle cards. If you're enjoying this reading, oh, there we have, that's the card that wants to come out. Okay, if you're enjoying this reading, please do give it a like and a comment. And apparently now you can also give it a hype, which would be awesome for me. It's for smaller channels to be able to get more views. I haven't looked into how you do hype it, but I think from your end, it's probably just on there. I'm thinking I would really appreciate it. I'm going to clarify this with my oracle cards, Tales from the Vector, TAILS, and I do have a website, talesfromthevector.com. And I started this oracle in 2007, and I completed 64 paintings in 2020. I'm an artist, so I had a lot of fun with it. Big dragon paintings, etc. So this energy is in the oracle. I'm now working on, I'll have all the paintings done. I've had it out at psychic fairs and that before, but never in its entirety. And so now I'm working on the information with you online, and I'll bring the actual deck out when I feel like I have the information I need to write the book that goes with it. So and in the description box below, I will have the cards in the order they appear here. If you want to check it out, you can check it out there. It might give you some more insight. So look at this. Here you show up for your own reading. You gotta love that. Yeah, I feel like this is saying, like if you can really learn to control your impulsive behaviors and not get really hot-headed, rein your emotions in when you're riding this fiery horse, that you're really going to accomplish really good things this year. It's a 1 year. It's perfect for you, Aries. I'm telling you, it's really good energy. And like I said, you have a second chance on February 17th, right? And this energy with the fiery horse energy can really support you as long as you rein it in. Like, I just keep saying that because I'm a Sagittarius, so I kind of get it. And so we're going to check out now the underlying energy that we have for February. And we have the need to be right. So, sometimes like sitting in a position like that, it feels like maybe you do need to be right. Like if you're making a big decision about, expanding your business or moving to a new location, and leaving where you're at. But having said that, it's also about like if you've made some errors in the past regarding your love life or whatever, some people, they have to have like, I have to be right. It was all your fault, not mine kind of energy, and make mountains out of molehills. So this energy is saying, would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? So sometimes it's really difficult for us, even if we're really successful, when we do something to say, you know what, I'm really successful. A lot of people are looking at you and think that you have the world and you're like, why would he move kind of energy? But you're not feeling it anymore. And so that's kind of being able to say to yourself, you know what, I was right then, and I feel like a big fish in a little pond. I need to expand. I need to go do something different, then follow that instinct. And we have the Hierophant confirming that. So if the decision is around money, I feel like, your health, wealth, and happiness isn't just about money. The abundance comes in from being and doing. And that's the energy of the Aries energy is, are you going to be doing all the time or are you going to be being, And so sometimes you have to do what is best for you, like for who you are, authentically are. And if that means starting over again, it's not like starting over from scratch energy. It's more like starting over in a new location. Like it's not like you can take all the skills that you've already learned. If you're changing like careers or something like that, you take all the skills and your connections and that, and you move them into a new way of being. We have intent. So the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Yeah. So sometimes when it comes to romance, things don't work out, So there could have been a divorce here, and maybe that's why you want to move on. Like it could be as, just like that. So that, that's the energy. I'm sure if, the thing is, what I'm picking up is this energy of the horse is forcing the truth to come out of a lot of situations. So it may or may not be something, this might be past, present, or future. So take it, however that works for you. And then we have Sagittarius energy. And this is, again, about wanting to expand instead of contracting. And this energy is also going with your heart's desires. Horses are all heart. And so that, this might be saying that the horse energy is perfect for you because it's bringing in the, giving you the courage, basically, or the intensity in your feelings to do what you need to do in your matters of love and to go with your authentic desires. The Hermit is sitting on the Hierophant energy. So I feel like that's the energy, like this first half is kind of like, like making this decision. And then it's safe travels after that. It's kind of like some sort of blessing comes in, some information comes in where you go, okay, now I know what I'm going to do. And you face your fears and you go with your strength and your courage. And if that's one thing that horses have, they're all heart and they have courage, right? They can be very fearful, though, if they can't see, if they have blinders on. A lot of horses that would be in the streets, in carriages and that, they would put blinders on so that they wouldn't get spooked by things outside of the corner of their eye. So it's about really being able to face your fears regarding this move forward. Yeah, and check your ego. So that energy is like, making sure that you know exactly what you really have to move forward with. That's the energy. And face what you don't and be really clear-minded about that. So just making sure that you're in a space where you're very clear-headed about the pluses and minuses of the actions that you're about to take. And then we have superstar. You're a superstar in 26. And look at that. This is harmony. So this is when you're able to speak up. And it could be like maybe you're moving because you and all the paperwork finally got done and you can move to another country where your true love is, or something like that. It doesn't have to be divorce. Could be separation, right? So this is being able to speak your truth, and or if not, heal from any words that were said that were holding you back in romance. So that's pretty cool. And then we have the dissension. So dissension is, oh, okay, with friends like this, who needs enemies? I feel like when this card comes up and it's on this whole new world, maybe that's part of the reason you want to move. Maybe you feel like you don't want to be around the same people that you've been around, that you feel like they're not really truly, you're not resonating. And they might have been, see, this card here sometimes represents someone who is like still at home, like in their hometown. And it's kind of like with the same people they grew up with and all of that. And so when you start trying to be a different person, there'll be some, push against that. And that's the kind of energy maybe you feel. It's very rare to be a hero in your hometown. If people have gone to school with you since you were in kindergarten, like say you're from a small town, and they know you as this person, and you were really shy when you were a little kid, or you weren't athletic and now you are, like, that kind of energy, that they tend to only be able to see you how they knew you kind of energy. So dissension is when they're not seeing you the way that you see yourself here. I feel it's more like that. I don't think it's necessarily like that people went out of their way. It's just, they can't see you any way than when you were like 7 years old kind of energy. And so the judgment is coming in. And this is interesting in my oracle. The judgment card is actually a pink and green dragon. And she's the judgment for like in the major arcana, as well as it could be her twin flying through the sky upside down. So she's upright in this one, and unfettered just means you're not tied or bound to anything. You're ready to move forward, and you've made a judgment regarding that, or some sort of judgment has come in. Perhaps if it is a divorce situation, the papers are done, the money's been settled, you're ready to move on kind of energy. That could be something to do with that. And then the other place that this card comes in is, so this represents the cosmic heart. And represents the fact that really God is the only one that can totally judge someone, because God is the only one that knows what people have truly been through. So we can think we might be able to judge someone, but we don't really know the reasons why they did. And sometimes we don't even know the reasons why we did, because we can't remember what happened to us when we were little. And that was heavily imprinted on us. So in the other position, it's actually about the heart chakra energy. And it's falling and failing in love is a matter of I. So you've got to be clear what you want and love yourself enough to go after it, to be in that energy. I really love this energy for you, Aries. This is really good energy. And then look at, look what comes up right after I said that. I could have put this card out first. So this is like, like you're on a spiritual level. I feel like maybe you've met someone that is your soulmate, and you're also, and it's a good judgment. Like the Hierophant is saying, this is a blessing. You've got the Emperor here, and you've got magic. So that's pretty cool. And then we have Cancer coming in here, and this is about adolescent energy. This is also, the Cancer is actually ruled by the moon. And that energy is very volatile. And as I do this reading right now, it is saying that there's a full moon on the 3rd of January, and it's the 1st right now. And that moon came in the other reading too. It's saying, like, if something happened, because I did a reading for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and I was kind of like, ugh. It was kind of like you might want to check that out. It was New Year, New You. And it was kind of like, why couldn't it be like more of a lighthearted reading? And it was because of this energy of this full moon coming in on the 3rd. And I feel that the reason is because we're ending the cycle from 2025. It's a decade of energy, moving into a new decade of energy. So we've got that real desire for new. Plus the full moon makes us want to shed, and we're moving then right in February from the year of the snake, when you shed what you don't want anymore and you move into this fiery horse energy to go after what you do want. So there's a lot of energy here, like, for people to deal with. And then pride. Okay, so the all or nothing energy. And, that's perfectly sitting on there. And so this would be February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. And then we're back into February, right? So 27. So this is talking about sometimes people that are really OCD-ish, that things have to be this way or they have to be that way, and it has to be in order. Sometimes if they can't do things perfectly, they'll do nothing. And sometimes like it's either all or nothing kind of energy, because they don't want to make mistakes. They don't want to be imperfect. But you think about a new baby, I mean, they're totally helpless. And by the end of the year, they're like walking, talking, functioning at a much higher level. So it's kind of saying like, but they fall down a lot while they're learning to walk. So it's kind of, if something has happened, because it's also sitting here on facing these fears, and lions have prides, right? And and all or nothing, hear me roar. I feel like this is about you being able to really heal some childhood energy that maybe has been influencing your love life in a negative way. And now you're way more clear on it, what you will and will not tolerate. It's all about having, your persuasion. And I've got a little cat, little Stella here. She's purring away on my lap. So that's a very high vibration energy. I really, really like this energy for you, Aries. I think it's awesome. And I will be back with another reading for you mid-month. If you did enjoy this, please do like and comment and give me a hype if you figure out how to do so. I appreciate it. It helps me build my channel. Consider subscribing if you resonate with the energy. And I will be back with another reading mid-month. Bye for now. Sorry, Stella, I have to wake you up.